Everything around us we can see through our eyes, heard through our ears, and felt through touch. In the immaterial world of high frequencies that modern science currently denies, seeing is possible exclusively through the brain, provided it possesses such a remarkable capability. This capability is far from universal, but if present, we refer to such individuals as extrasensory, witches, wizards, shamans. We will only enumerate some of the names. Logically reasoning, we can assume that in this as yet unexplored world of dark matter, its terms and frequency parameters are described in a particular manner. Simply put, frequencies are vibrations or oscillations, indicating that oscillations must have frequency characteristics. Such characteristics exist independently of whether we are aware of them or not. The frequency characteristic of the energy flow in energy physics is called an octave. An octave is the frequency characteristic of charge oscillations between the nodes of the energy lattice of any substance on the planet, both in the material world and the dark matter world. Let's imagine a wave with 2 oscillations per second. That is the first octave. 2 to the power of 1 equals 2. 4 oscillations per second is the second octave. 2 to the power of 2 equals 4 oscillations per second. 8 oscillations per second is the third octave. 2 to the power of 3 equals 8. In other words, an octave is the power of the number 2. Based on a known octave as one of the physical parameters of a substance, one can determine the number of oscillations per second. To do this, raise the number 2 to the power of the corresponding octave and obtain the result. If the frequency is known, meaning the number of oscillations per second, one can determine which octave corresponds to this frequency. To do this, calculate the logarithm of the number of oscillations with a base of 2. All frequencies in atomic structures are built on octaves. An octave can be described with whole numbers and decimals up to 8 digits after the decimal point, meaning it represents a frequency range. Part of such a frequency range is called the mantissa. Figuratively speaking, this energy flow can be imagined as a multi-core cable. Here are a few examples. Liquids and water range from the 28th octave to the 32nd. Lightning is at the 32nd octave. Sunlight is at the 48th octave. Gamma radiation is at the 54th octave. For instance, the human mind occupies a frequency range from the 66th octave to the 96th octave, and the frequency range for working with energy objects of the control system, such as UFOs and plasmoids, ranges from the 248th octave to the 484th. The range of octaves for the planet Earth itself spans from the 2nd to the 512th octave. The dark matter of the controlled world on our planet occupies a vast frequency range from the 66th octave to the 512th. It represents a difference of over 135 orders of magnitude compared to the material space. The current existing space of biostructures encompasses a maximum of 64 octaves. Everything up to the 64th octave is considered the material world. Beyond the 64th octave lies the so-called dark matter, which is 135 orders of magnitude larger than the material world. The energy information system of a human consists of 4.5 billion frequencies, whereas our highly evolved ancestors, the Hyperboreans, had a system consisting of 17 billion frequencies. So, there is room for us to evolve further to defeat aging and live longer. There exists a whole system of octaves: musical or command octave, mathematical octave, parametric octave, frequency octave, field octave, code octave, biological octave, information octave,